mean, I'd say it's probably pretty solid this week. You know, didn't miss a fairway. I mean, Scheffler's on a good one, and you don't really think about it. You're just trying to hit as many good shots as possible and make as many good putts as possible.
Bait is kind of what people look for, and you can shorten a 5-minute clip into 3 words. I think really underestimates what I was trying to communicate. I'm not here to inspire somebody else to be the best player in the world, because what's the point? This is not a fulfilling life.
Mentally, a long season for me, even though it was short. So physically, I feel a lot better, which is a plus.
The silence that long governed the highest tier of professional golf did not just fade away, it was rewritten in a single afternoon. The performance was so statistically remarkable that it sent shockwaves through every locker room, boardroom, and clubhouse in the sport. For years, golf analysts and casual observers alike operated under a unified consensus. Xander Schauffele was the ultimate mechanical genius who struggled to cross the finish line when the stakes reached their absolute peak. He was labeled the perpetual contender, the textbook swing technician doomed to play second fiddle to more aggressive, cold-blooded competitors. But when the dust finally settled at Valhalla, that entire narrative was transformed. By dropping a record-setting 21 under par total, the lowest winning score in the multi-century history of major championship golf, Schauffele didn't just claim a trophy, he executed a methodical dismantling of the course that forced the entire athletic landscape to rethink who actually holds the keys to the kingdom. Yet, what the cameras captured on the 18th green was only a single layer of the story. Beyond the polite applause, the standard post-round press conferences, and the polished corporate handshakes lies a far more intense competitive reality that governs the elite tier of the PGA Tour. Behind the scenes, Schauffele's historic breakthrough ignited a quiet recalibration among his closest rivals and tour officials. When an athlete reaches a level of scoring that breaks the traditional expectations of major championship setups, it forces everyone else in the field into a state of acute strategic urgency. The surface-level camaraderie of tour life quickly gives way to intense tactical analysis, hyper-vigilant scrutiny, and subtle psychological gamesmanship. To truly grasp the magnitude of this shift, you have to look directly at the man who had previously rendered the sport entirely defenseless, Scottie Scheffler. For the better part of 2 seasons, Scheffler operated in an aura of complete dominance. With his unconventional footwork, terrifyingly consistent ball striking, and unflappable emotional baseline, he was widely treated as an unshakable force, an athlete built to set the pace for an entire generation. The sports media routinely framed Scottie's reign as an era of comfortable dominance that might last a decade. But elite athletics operates on a delicate balance of momentum and psychological leverage. The moment Schauffele posted 21 under par, he didn't just beat the field, he established a new benchmark directly inside the mental territory that Scheffler had spent years occupying. This sudden escalation in rivalry wasn't born out of thin air. It was built upon months of escalating gamesmanship inside the most exclusive social circles on tour. It is a well-known fact among golf insiders that a small, hyper-elite group of players including Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, Patrick Cantlay, Scottie Scheffler, and Xander Schauffele maintains a private, highly active group chat. Away from the watchful eyes of handlers, agents, and TV networks, this digital locker room functions as a hub for locker room banter and mutual roasting. While the public sees these men sharing practice rounds and smiling for promotional cameras, the banter shared within this private circle is notoriously sharp and hyper-competitive. The playful nature of this digital locker room was laid bare during the now infamous events of the 2024 PGA Championship at Valhalla, when Scottie Scheffler was unexpectedly detained outside the course gates in a chaotic early morning traffic misunderstanding that stunned the sporting world. The media reaction was one of intense shock. Millions watched in real time as the world's #1 golfer was taken into custody. But inside the players' private group chat, the reaction was immediate and lighthearted. Rather than offering formal condolences, his closest peers instantly turned the moment into a running joke. They changed the group chat's official profile picture to Scheffler's police mugshot before he had even teed off for his round. On the surface, it was good-natured hazing, and Scheffler publicly confirmed he took the joke in stride. But sports psychologists know that poking fun at a competitor's moment of high stress is a subtle way for rivals to signal that no matter how dominant you are on the leaderboard, nobody is immune to locker room banter. If the mugshot incident revealed the edgy humor under the surface, an accidental media leak regarding equipment highlighted just how closely these top camps monitor one another. Equipment in modern professional golf is treated with extreme precision and confidentiality. Players spend hundreds of hours fine-tuning their drivers to ensure every fraction of a millimeter on the club face meets exact USGA regulations. During a routine media session, Xander Schauffele casually mentioned a detail that quickly made headlines. Scottie Scheffler's primary driver had actually failed the United States Golf Association's strict on-site conformity test. The test, designed to ensure a club face does not exceed legal springiness over time, forced Scheffler to switch to a backup driver head right before competition. By mentioning Scheffler's driver swap to reporters, Schauffele inadvertently turned an ordinary equipment adjustment into a major talking point. Realizing he had accidentally put his friend in an uncomfortable spot with the press, Schauffele was quick to publicly issue a genuine apology. He clarified that he meant it purely as praise for how talented Scottie was, highlighting that Scheffler could grab an unproven backup club and still outplay the best golfers in the world. But despite the innocent intentions, the incident proved to analysts just how granular the attention to detail is at the top level. Top players and their teams are constantly tracking equipment changes, physical preparation, and minor variables in search of any competitive insight. This level of focus isn't something a player simply leaves at the golf course when they drive through the gates at the end of the day. It follows them home, consuming their thoughts and altering the dynamic of their personal lives. This is where Schauffele provides a perspective that no analyst or broadcaster can replicate. As someone who intentionally avoids the flashy celebrity lifestyle and maintains an exceptionally private profile, occupies a unique vantage point as Xander's closest confidant. When she offered a rare, highly emotional reaction to Xander's major championship breakthrough, she provided a glimpse into the emotional toll this sport exacts behind closed doors. She spoke to the years of silent dedication, the unexpressed weight of coming up just short, and the immense psychological discipline required to consistently challenge an era-defining talent like Scheffler. What the average viewer sees on Sunday evening is the triumph of trophy lifts and multi-million-dollar checks. What they don't see are the hundreds of nights spent dissecting stroke gains, analyzing swing mechanics, and managing the quiet anxiety that comes with elite performance. Schauffele's perspective highlighted the fact that when two athletes are locked in a battle at the top of a sport, it impacts the entire household. Every minor setback, every piece of media criticism about lacking a closer's mindset, and every high-pressure major final round becomes a shared journey. Schauffele's record-breaking victory wasn't just a validation of his swing changes. It was a profound sense of relief for an inner circle that had supported his relentless work ethic for years. The underlying competitive dynamic between Schauffele and Scheffler is made even more fascinating by the radical contrast in their physical and mental approaches to the game. Scheffler represents the ultimate expression of organic, feel-based athleticism. His lower body dynamically shifts during his downswing, his feet slide across the turf in ways that defy traditional instruction, yet his hand-eye coordination and instinctual feel produce generational results. He plays golf like an artist painting with broad, confident strokes. Schauffele, on the other hand, is the ultimate mechanical technician. His swing is a masterpiece of textbook symmetry, measurable launch monitor data, and repeatable precision. Every movement is calculated to reduce variables and eliminate human error. When these two contrasting styles clash at the top of a leaderboard, it represents more than just a battle for prize money. It is a showcase of two entirely different sporting philosophies. For years, critics debated whether Schauffele's calculated, highly analytical approach could consistently outclutch a field player like Scheffler in the closing moments of a major. They questioned whether mechanics alone could replace raw instinct under intense pressure, but by posting 21 under par on one of the most demanding major setups in recent memory, Schauffele demonstrated that technical perfection executed with confidence can stand up to any style of play. He proved that his systematic approach belongs at the absolute peak of the game, prompting analysts and competitors alike to re-examine his training methods. This personal rivalry is unfolding against the backdrop of a broader evolution within professional golf. The landscape of elite competition is undergoing continuous refinement, with athletes pushing physical conditioning, club technology, and data analytics to levels never seen before. In an environment where standard performance metrics are constantly being shattered, authentic high-stakes player rivalries remain the primary driver of fan engagement. When two major champions develop an ongoing competitive back and forth, whether through friendly group chat banter, equipment discussions, or record-breaking scoring displays, it elevates the narrative. It puts the spotlight squarely on the razor-thin margins that separate good players from legends. As the tour moves forward into its most grueling tournament stretches, the strategic gamesmanship between the top players shows zero signs of slowing down. Respect on the practice green remains genuinely strong, but every player in the field understands the stakes. The locker rooms are filled with elite competitors who know that every media appearance, every equipment tweak, and every tournament setup presents a new opportunity to gain an edge. The era of predictable dominance by a single player has given way to an exciting, dynamic era of multiplayer contention. When a golfer lowers the major scoring floor to 21 under par, they set a new standard of excellence that challenges the entire field to elevate their game. Furthermore, the ripple effect of Schauffele's historic scoring pace has sparked fascinating discussions among tournament committees and course setup strategists. Architects who spent decades designing courses under the assumption that 10 under par was the ultimate benchmark for a major championship must now account for players who optimize every degree of launch angle, spin rate, and green slope. The governing bodies face a subtle evolution, adapt course setups to challenge modern athletic engineering, or embrace the fact that modern players are simply scoring at a level that historical venues were never designed to contain. Inside the broadcast booths and sports media centers, journalists have been forced to update their long-term outlooks. The previous talking points regarding Xander's ability to win on the major stage have been replaced by discussions of how many more trophies he can add to his cabinet. Every marquee event where Schauffele and Scheffler both appear on the tee sheet is now viewed as an essential chapter in an ongoing competitive dialogue. The narrative has evolved from whether Schauffele can contend to how his mechanical consistency will match up against Scheffler's dynamic momentum over the next decade. Ultimately, what Xander Schauffele's record-breaking performance proved is that modern professional golf at the highest level is an absolute pressure cooker of discipline, focus, and resilience. While the broadcast coverage showcases serene landscapes and quiet greens, the reality for the players is an intense full-time commitment to perfection. Schauffele spent years quietly refining his craft, tuning out external noise, and waiting for his preparation to align with opportunity. By delivering a historical performance, he didn't just capture a major title, he affirmed his place as one of the defining figures of modern sports. The dynamic at the top of the golf world has reached a compelling new peak. Scottie Scheffler remains an absolute powerhouse, but he now shares the stage with a rival whose technical brilliance and mental fortitude make every major championship an unmissable event. As practice rounds continue, group chats stay lively and equipment setups are tested, fans around the world are treated to one of the most exciting eras of competition in recent history. The stage is set, the standard has been raised, and the journey for ultimate supremacy in professional golf is only getting started. That's it for today, folks. See you in the next video.